What's going on YouTube? It's Andrew Martino, and today I'm going to show you how to convert your Lexus IS250 with the factory HIDs and AFS to LED, keeping the AFS. It's going to be, it's been a long process. Basically what happened here is I was using some cheap LEDs from my high beam, and the dust covers didn't fit on the back of the headlamp. And while I went for a car wash, it filled up the entire headlamp with water. And that's not good because the factory HID ballasts are not waterproof. So I removed the headlamps, drained the water, and I was like, well, you know what I should do is I should just get matching pair. Because my driver's side was, it was a aftermarket TYC OEM replacement, which was a pile of junk. The lens was really crappy, and the AFS tracked really wrong, and lots of problems with that thing. So I went to my buddy and got two 2008 ISF headlamps with the AFS and the factory HID, and I got two new ballasts, and I was ready to start installing them when I realized that the passenger side TYC aftermarket OEM replacement headlight was a D3S bulb and D3S ballast and D3S wiring, and the stock one is D4S. So so then I tried to take apart the connectors on the ballast on the new OE replacements, and guess what? They were all glued together. So I couldn't do that either, and I really didn't want to disassemble the headlamps. So I decided I'm going to convert to LED. And I did a lot of research, and there's nothing on it for Lexus, but there is for BRZs. And I'm going to explain to you how that's going to work in a little moment here. So right here is the TYC OEM replacement headlamp. And you can notice that the projector looks completely different from factory. See how this one's kind of foggy? And this one's clear. So it casted a really weird pattern on the ground, and I didn't like it at all. Another thing to notice here is that not only does it have a bunch of really random plugs and stuff on the harness, but it was designed to have a DS3 ballast. And so there was like a little cover here that had a custom mount for that ballast. So that brought me to some like strange questions, like how could they do that? And in here for the LED or for the HID, they had this big igniter box on there, which on D4S ballast, it's all in one. So that was interesting. So when I decided to replace it and put it onto the factory one, there was a couple of things that were a little off. And when I get this apart, I will show you, because underneath this plate here that I stole from a ballast replacement, I'm going to show you that there's like a completely different connector on it. All right, so after I removed the screws from the harness and the mounting plate here that sits on the headlamp, and then the ballast, the fake ballast cover screws, we can take this off. And if you notice in here, the plug, this is a D3S plug for the ballast. It was completely the wrong one. The good thing is that it's just 2 wires, black and blue. So power and ground. And another thing that was different about it was that this one here has a different style side marker plug. So I'd have to find that plug and splice it onto the one that's provided. And I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm just going to keep those out. So what I need to do is I need to plug this into the car harness. And I need to figure out which one of these is power and which one is ground using my my multimeter. And once I find that out, I can mark them and splice in my special connectors that my buddy gave me. These are waterproof connectors. And you get the wires and you pin them, and then you snap it all together, and then it's just like an automotive plug. And then to attach the wires to each other, I'm going to be using these little nifty devices here. What it is it's like a heat shrink and solder all in one. So you heat it up with like a lighter, and it melts that solder, and that solder will, fuse the 2 wires together. And then the shrink wrap will also contract and hold the wires in place. So this is a really good thing to have. So I need to do this for both the driver's side and the passenger side headlamps. Mark which ones are positive and which are negative. And then when I get to that point, then I'll have to come back down here and splice in the cables for the LED bulbs, which are in here. So we got power and ground, black and red. And then I'll get into these LED bulbs a little later, because these are special LED bulbs that no other LED bulb would work except for these type. And I'll explain why later. Alright, so I pulled the headlights apart to both of them. And brought them out to my garage, where I will have to test to see which one is positive and which one is negative on these 2 plugs. Like I said, there are no markings on here as to what is what. So I'm just gonna have to go by my multimeter. And it's gonna be a little pain in the butt, because I can't exactly mount them. So I'm gonna have to put them on something, maybe these, and then test it out. Hopefully they work. I mean, they should send power if I plug it in. So then once I figure that out, I will go back downstairs and splice them together. Alright, so put one of my headlights over here on this little chair and plugged it into the main harness here. And then I'm gonna get my multimeter here and I'm going to turn it on and I'm gonna put it to volts, and because this does DC and AC, I'll just need it to put there. So, oh, there we go, DC. All right, and then go over here and put the headlights on. Okay, so technically they're on. Oh, look at that. So the high beam is on, which means the headlight isn't on. Alright, cool. So now we should be getting power to our cable here, which would normally plug into the HID ballast. So I'm going to test this. Okay, so I had to actually turn the car on to get power to the headlamp. And after testing, I found that on this harness, which is the TYC, the black wire has power. Oh wait, or was it the blue? Oh man, I forgot already. Bear with me, I have like no sleep in me. Or was it the blue? The blue has the power. That's right. And let's hope I'm right. So I'm gonna have to do that with the other ones too. So I guess I will do that and we'll get downstairs. Alright, that's confirmation. The blue wire on the aftermarket harness is power. Now I got the driver's side headlamp hooked up, and I'm gonna hope, because this one also has blue and black wires. So I'm just gonna test the blue wire. If they're the same, that's awesome. Alright, and unfortunately, I have to turn the damn car on in the garage. It's like really cold outside, so I don't want to open the garage door. But if I'm about to pass out, maybe I will. Because, you know, the last garage I used to do this stuff in, it wasn't sealed at all, so you could run a car in there and not even smell fumes. Here, on the other hand, that's a little different. Yeah, so anyways. I'm gonna... Well, here. Maybe I can do this with you guys. Got lights on. Multimeter on. DC. Alright, I'm gonna put you guys down. And it's confirmed. The blue wire on both harnesses are positive. So that's a relief. So, so that means that I can wire these up and I can get them going. So because the stock harness has the stock side marker plug and the other one does not, I'm gonna have to unplug it. Because it's gonna be a little weird having one side marker and one non. So hopefully I don't get pulled over for that. Yeah. Alright, so in the next scene I will be downstairs again and we will be putting plugs on. Alright, I'm inside now. And I'm about ready to wire these up. Now, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the red wire on the blue wire and then black to black. And with these special connectors, it'll be real easy for disconnecting. So the reason why I had to get special bulbs is because something that a lot of people don't understand, that you can't just put any normal bulb or LED bulb in an HID projector. It's an HID projector. It's specific for HIDs. It's kind of like when people put HIDs and LEDs in, you know, a reflector housing. Not supposed to do that. You're going to blind the crap out of people. This projector was designed for an HID. The LED bulbs that I bought by SNGL are designed for HID projectors. And they are a special size. They are a special size, and they have a base that you can swivel to get the proper beam. I mean, these are HID projector specific LEDs. That's something that's very important. These were $188. You know, you don't just go on eBay and get the ones that are like $50 and put them in there, because you're going to have a really weird beam, especially with the Lexus that has the side mounting bulb location. That's going to really throw things off. So, I'll show you guys later. But yeah, that's what makes these so special. And in fact, you know, it goes right into the D4S socket, the projector specific version. That's very important, and these come with a 2-year warranty. And so, I mean, they make these specifically for replacing HID systems where it came factory in their headlights. So then, in theory, by powering on the headlamps using the stock wires that we have here, turning on the LED bulbs, the AFS and auto leveling is still going to work, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted factory HIDs, but brighter and a lot quicker turn on time. So I'm going to have factory auto leveling AFS motorized headlamps with LED bulbs that are fully adjustable for the correct beam pattern. So I will get a link in the description to these LED bulbs. And the best part about these LED bulbs are they're extremely compact. They have this itty bitty little form factor. It's no bigger than the factory plug that goes on here, which means it'll give me a lot of room for it to move back and forth with the road. And up in here, oops, up in here, we have a big pocket where you can put the little box, the control box, and it won't interfere with any of the turning. So, I'm going to get this mess put together, and then the next step will be to put them in the car and see if they turn on. So, I'll be back. Alright, so after about a half an hour of wiring it up and putting everything back together, they're complete. So then what I have to do now is install them on the car, and then I have to turn the actual LED bulbs to get the perfect beam, and then I can put the bumper back on and all that kind of stuff. So in the next segment, you'll see them installed on the car without the bumper and turning on for the first time. Alright, so I got them all back together and I put them in the car and wired them up, and we got both sides in, and let's see if they turn on. And by the way, I also got new turn signal bulbs, and they're like extremely bright, or they're supposed to be extremely bright. And I have them just in the middle one because they're too tall to go in this corner. So we'll test out those too. And I also got daylight running lights in some LEDs, some white ones. So we'll see how that all comes together. Alright, so here's just that. Just the running lights. Oh, cool. So here's just the running lights. Pretty nice. Here's I'm gonna do the hazards. Watch how bright these are. They're so bright. They're like brighter than the headlights. Well, the old headlights. Look at that. Although they said that they are not supposed to hyper flash. And they do. It's kind of like having an emergency vehicle. But anyways, alright. The moment of the truth. Boom! Oh, look how bright they are. Holy moly. Holy crap. They work so well. Holy crap, they're so bright. Let's look at the cutoff line. Oh, look. So, I actually still have to aim these. The bulb themselves actually rotate in the housing, and you can get the best desired beam by doing so. So, we're gonna pull the car out and check that out on the garage door. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so before, any of the leveling of my headlights and adjusting the bulbs, it's got a little bit of a cutoff line, and then there's a little bit of glare going on up above. I'm also on an incline here. It goes down quite a bit, so it won't be able to, I won't be able to gauge it properly right away, but they are really bright. So yeah, that's not the greatest, but that's because they aren't adjusted yet. Let's see how bright those turn signal bulbs are. Oh, it's so bright. We got my high beams. So I gotta pop the hood and turn those bulbs and see if I can get a better beam. So I'll be back when I do that. Okay, so I rotated the bulbs, and now you can see that there's an actual cutoff line, and it's not going to be blinding the crap out of people. And then the last thing I have to do pretty much is aim them. I'm not sure if it might have something to do with the actual AFS, or if I have to physically somehow like push it down. I'm pretty sure that it's so cold out. I'm pretty sure you just have to adjust them with little knobs in there. I can bring them down or bring them up. But, so you got the brights, and we got just the daylight running lights, and then off, turn signal, hazards, back on, high beams. So that's cool. I'm gonna try to cycle power just to see if it'll have something to do with the AFS, but let's try that.
Testing. System ready.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to drive somewhere. I don't know if I should. Let's see. My car's been sitting forever, so I'm surprised it started up. Ugh. Oh yeah, they are way too high up. I'm gonna blind everyone. But they're really bright. Holy cow. Yep, now I just have to mount them lower so I'm not blinding every single person and their mom. Holy crap. Oh. Ugh. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get my bumper back on and adjust the headlamps so that they're much lower so I'm not blinding the world. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much concludes my video. It works. When you move the bulbs around, it gets rid of all that crazy glare. There's still a little bit. I mean, there's some up there. But once I aim these down, it should be a lot better. And then I can actually see the light down on the ground. Because right now it's just kind of shooting out into space. So yeah, that's cool. And then maybe I'll make a video of, you know, when everything's back together and it's aimed correctly and the AFS is working with it and all that kind of stuff. And then there'll be a recap, and that'll be it. I mean, so I was successfully able to convert a factory HID headlamp to LED, with keeping the AFS and the and auto leveling. And see, there's no warning sign or anything. So that's pretty cool. And if you see all these warning signs, it's because I have to program my tire pressure sensor meters or whatever they're called. But yeah, I mean, it's much brighter than HID. So yeah, if you like this, you know, hit subscribe, and I'll try to make more videos. I'll be installing the ISF tail lights, along with brighter bulbs, and then I'll be talking about the Cruze. Yeah, that piece of junk over there. So, and if you know anything about the Cruze, you know that it's given me a lot of problems. So, all right, well, this ends this this film here, and I hope someone learned something. And I'm sorry it's super long, but I'm very bad at making videos, and I'm not very good at editing. And I never have anyone that's like holding the camera. I don't have any tripods, like none of this. I have ideas. It just doesn't work. It never works that way. But yeah, I hope everyone learned something. And so instead of going out there and getting expensive ballasts and taking your headlights apart and all that stuff, you can keep all your fun options, but go to LED. And then just remember, you know, I'll have the link in the description to the LED bulbs that I purchased and installed. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Have a good night.
A few moments later.
Well, you certainly didn't think that I was going to leave without having a driving portion, did you? So it took a very long time to put the bumper back on. There was a lot of stuff that just wasn't matching up very well. And I forgot to do a couple things like putting the fog lights back in, so I had to remove the bumper. But I mean, here's kind of the finished product. I still have a little bit more aiming to do. It's a little low at the moment, and I think I need to maybe rotate the bulbs just a little bit more. But so far it's pretty awesome, and it's real bright and real white. And yeah, and the car is so much faster than my Cruze because I have very low compression on one of the cylinders, and I didn't really look, but it's pretty bad. But anyways, so yep, this is the final product. I'm pretty pleased, and I'm gonna actually get out of the car and show you from the outside, just because sometimes it's better to do that. And get out. So that's pretty good output right there. I'd say that's pretty good. Not bad. So yeah, once I raise them up a little bit, it should be pretty good. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll be back for more. More on the Lexus, and then definitely, possibly, the motor swap on the Cruze. Have a good night.